Hey guys, hope everyone's having a great weekend. I'm finally getting around to doing my do-it-yourself CO2 setup. So, not pressurized CO2 setup, so not as high tech as some of the systems out there, but for anyone out there who's looking to do CO2 for your planet tank, I think this setup will work just fine for what you're trying to do. So, I'm happy to have you guys follow along and watch this experience with me. So I have gone out and bought this relatively inexpensive kit online. It's just a simple kit that'll attach to 2 liter bottles. I'm actually using 1.5 liter bottles, but I think they'll be just fine. To run a mixture that is part citric acid in the first bottle and baking soda in the next bottle. And what that will do is create the chemical reaction you need to produce CO2 in a slightly pressurized environment. At least provide enough pressure to push CO2 through the system and go for the rate I'm looking for, which is about a bubble per second. I've also got a bubble counter to put into the line and this really kind of inexpensive diffuser kit with inline check valve as well to keep any water from backflowing through. So that, and I have just this really simple electronic scale that I have to kind of appropriately measure everything out. So hang on tight. I want to go ahead and walk you through the process. Okay, so like I said, this kit's very straightforward. Even comes labeled. You want to have bottle A and bottle B. Inside bottle A is going to be your citric acid mixture. Inside bottle B is going to be your baking soda mixture. In bottle A, you're going to use 200 grams of citric acid mixed with 600 milliliters of water. And in bottle B, it'll be 200 grams of baking soda mixed with 200 grams of water. You'll mix those in thoroughly, cap them off, and then I'll pick up at that point and show you the next steps in the setup. But yeah, very self-explanatory. Even comes with some pretty basic instructions to help guide you along the way. But so far, pretty easy. So I apologize. I skipped a few steps in the process. So you saw me portioning out bottle A and bottle B. I've since have mixed in the water. Like I said, 600 milliliters with the citric acid, 200 milliliters with the baking soda. And before you start the reaction, you just want to mix up the water in both of them, make sure everything's as dissolved as it can be. Once you screw the caps on, it's really straightforward to assemble. You just have your airline tubing, and make sure you get a good quality airline tubing that can take CO2. I even think that talking to the local fish store guy, it's a good idea maybe change out your tubing once every 6 months to a year on this setup if you don't have great tubing for managing CO2. But for DIY setup, very low cost. This mixture should keep me going for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, so pretty low cost to maintain going forward. Some of the cons on the mixture, since it's not an automated system and on a solenoid on a timer, what I do have to do is kind of regulate my flow with this needle valve here. But pretty easy to do. So each day before I go to bed, I just gotta make sure I turn this off so I don't gas CO2 in my tank overnight, since the plants won't be using CO2 at night. In the morning when I feed my fish, I'll just turn that on. That is running from there to my bubble counter over here. I'm doing about 1 bubble a second rate, so I'm looking for. Above that, I have my check valve set up, and then in the tank you can see the diffuser set up. And I used the suction cup, and I actually found I need to kind of suction cup the tubing, because the suction cup this diffuser comes to is really easily detaches, so just kind of securing the tubing to the tank so it doesn't blow around. So that's why I'm targeting about a bubble a second rate of CO2 in this tank. I might be able to turn it up higher over time, but I'm really not looking to have aggressive CO2, and at this rate I figure it'll be a lot better than what I had before, and we'll see how it goes with the tank. So I'll keep you guys posted on how this runs over the next couple of weeks, show you some of the growth, show you some of the wins or opportunities with this setup. So yeah, very straightforward. Took me about 20 minutes to set the whole thing up, and yeah, just getting getting that kit that comes with the valve, the needle valve, the 2 bottle caps. Get yourself 2-liter bottles. I'm actually using 1.5-liter bottles, but I think they'll be just fine. Soda bottles are ideal. They can handle the extra pressure that the system will be under, though it's not extreme pressure by any means. And just some extra good grade airline tubing. And all this stuff you can get on eBay, Amazon, a lot of different sites, or hopefully your local fish store. The bubble counter, the check valve, and diffuser. Diffuser is made of glass, so just be careful as you're putting that on. I actually found that the wetting everything down, the tubing and the glass, made everything slide on that much better. So save myself from breaking the glass when I've set this up. So yeah, that's kind of my findings. Like, subscribe, ask any questions down below, any recommendations, things I could have done better. I'm still kind of learning this process with this setup, but I'm pretty excited to see what happens. That's all for now, guys. I'm out.